Family, welcome back to another episode of Financial Freedom. I am your host and accompaniment on this journey, Derek Brown. And trust me, family, we've been learning a lot this year. There are a lot of things I did not know about, a lot of decisions I actually changed my mind on because of some of the conversations we had with these guests. So it's been an incredible journey. But before we get into it, I want to take a moment to thank you. We began this channel in March 19th, 2020, with one show. That show got 10 million views. And because of that, we went from one show to over 35 shows. And 45 million plus views later, we're still here. And you've allowed me to accompany you on this journey toward financial freedom. So thank you for that. If you can, please, which I know you can, share, like, subscribe. Make sure you share with at least three people, at least three people. But thank you for being here. Today, family, we're going to be talking about a mindset reset moving into 2021. I know we need it. I need it very badly when it comes to this money. So I have a gentleman with me right now, president of the National Financial Group, 24 years of experience in wealth management and insurance industry. He's experienced in team building, insurance planning and personal risk management, retirement planning, portfolio analysis, holistic financial planning, and estate planning. He previously served as a retirement specialist for Nationwide Retirement Solutions. In 2017, he became an independent financial advisor. He has a BBA in finance from Georgia Southern. Again, I have another gentleman who is horribly overqualified for this conversation, and I'm so glad that he's here, Ruben Lewis IV. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
Thank you for having me on, Derek.
Man, you're very welcome. Look, I was looking over your bio, man, and I was looking over your accomplishments, and you do a lot. And we've been blessed and fortunate to have men and women on the show that have a heart for the community as well. I want to make sure we highlight that before we get down too deep into this. You and your wife have a nonprofit, and you have an emphasis on HBCUs. Will you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, so we really have a big focus on making sure that we promote financial literacy among historically Black colleges, because obviously we can really impact the lives of young African-American men and women before they get out here in the world and make mistakes. So that's why we really enjoy working with HBCUs.
Right.
Yep, here in Atlanta and around the country.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel like is your most prominent program when it comes to, partnering with the HBCUs?
A lot of people think you have to put together this complex and very involved and detailed program, but really the one that resonates the most with the students is, debt management, how not to get into unnecessary debt, because some debt is necessary, i.e. like student loans and things of that nature, but we really focus on making sure they don't make the critical mistake that a lot of young folks and old people make, which is get into a lot of unnecessary debt.
Got you. I really wish I had come across y'all, man, before I left, because I made some incredible mistakes.
You and I both, because I'm in the financial business, but when I was in college, I made a ton of mistakes as well, getting credit cards I didn't need and loans I didn't need. But hey, I'm a living testament to, even those that make mistakes can recover and, do nicely. But our goal with the nonprofit is to make sure that it doesn't happen to future generations in our community.
That's dope, man. That's wonderful. Thank you for that. What's the name of this nonprofit so that we all know what the name of that is?
So it is National Financial Group Foundation. That's the name of it. So tied directly to the name of my company. So we want to keep it close.
Got you. Close to the chest. I appreciate that. Well, sir, thank you for being here so much. I know your time is precious, so we're going to try and make it worth it. We're moving into 2021. 2020, brother, has been a heck of a year. It has been a year.
Yes.
And so I've been, as I've been on this show, I've been listening to different things. I've been looking at different things. I even heard a couple of different things juxtaposed to moving forward, how we look at our money, right? When it comes to our spending power, for instance, right? As a Black consumer, how should we be looking at our money moving into 2021? Because there's so much going on. There's a resurgence of it seems like black business. There's people who are using and boycotting with their money. It seems there's been such a shift in how we view our money. When it comes to our money moving into 2021, how do you think we should look at it?
Well, from I guess a basic level, I always have told, this is what I tell all of my clients: you need to recognize the power that you have with the income and disposable dollars in your household, meaning that those dollars have real impact and they can really make a change for the better or for the worse in your respective communities. And we
Right,
all have seen what has happened during this unprecedented year with the pandemic and all these different things.
right,
A lot of things that have been brewing in this country for generations, as far as the racism, social inequality, and injustices, have boiled over and have been brought into focus because we've all been quarantining and watching what's
yeah.
been going on around the country with the death of George
Hmm.
Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all these different things. And out of that, you've seen a really big growth and explosion of people saying, "Wait a minute, you know what? Black lives do matter," and major corporations around this country and around the world are saying, "You know what? We believe Black Lives Matters and Brown Lives Matter, and we're going to start pouring billions of dollars into the community to really promote racial equality and stop all the social injustice and the racism." But what I would say, to get back to your question, is this: what we can do as people of color, Black folks, is say, "You know what? It's great that these outside corporations are stepping in and stepping up to the plate. It's been long overdue." But also, what's been long overdue is us as a people stepping up and saying, "You know what? Our dollars matter," right?
Right,
You know, Black money matters, right?
right.
So make conscientious decisions to support Black owned businesses that are in your community. Stop
Right.
trying to find reasons or excuses not to support Black owned businesses. And you kind of get me on a tangent here because, I've heard clients that are middle income, low income, or wealthy, some that are worth millions of dollars. And they say, "Well, Ruben, I tried to do business with this Black firm, and, you know, these couple of things didn't happen." And my immediate response is, "Well, who do you have your cable bill with? And your cable service from? Who do you have your phone service from?" Oh, some people may say, "Well, I get my cable from Comcast or AT&T. I get my cell phone or home phone from those same two carriers." And I say, "Well, throughout your relationship with those carriers, has there ever been a mistake that they've made?" I said, "Because with Verizon, I use Verizon. They make billing errors all the time. Do you go out and then say, 'You know what? I'm going to cancel my Verizon plan and never do business with Verizon again'?" No. You talk to the company, you address the issue you had or are having, and you give that company a chance to make it right. And we need to
Right.
afford the same opportunity to Black owned and minority owned businesses, and stop making excuses as to why we will not support our own businesses. But then we get outraged and say, "You know what? We want white America and corporate America to start doing things, for our community, when we won't even do what's necessary for our community to support
I
economic growth and economic equality."
I was having a conversation with a couple of people about sometimes the pricing in black businesses. And I said, look, if you have a luxury brand, I understand. You may not be able to buy from that luxury brand, but there are other businesses you can still buy from that may be within your budget. There's a hat company that I love. I love their hats, but their hats are the price of a doctor's visit, and I can't afford that, right? However,
Right.
uh, I can go to a place like ancientorajewelry.com, which I love, by the way, and still afford some nice jewelry, which I think is beautiful.
That
Shameless
is
plug.
nice.
Um, and so there are different ways to be able to support our community. I think you make a great point about that. To give them the same grace and the same type of loyalty we give these mainstream businesses that make a ton of mistakes.
Mhm.
I know for a fact there was a time they were uploading something to our phones without our permission, and we didn't have service for a
Correct.
couple of days, and everybody was like, "Hey, I don't know what happened, but oh well."
Well, another
And
another point here, Wells Fargo, the scandal behind Wells Fargo. which at the time
Mm,
was the largest bank in America, opening up fictitious accounts and credit cards for their clients because their employees were being pushed to hit sales goals and sales numbers. Do you know that they had less than a 2% cancellation rate in with their clients even after that scandal broke? So
wow.
that just reiterates my point in that, and a lot of those folks that didn't cancel the service are people of color. And it just reiterates my point. If we will give grace and understanding and make concessions to continue to do business with these mainstream white firms, there is no excuse for you not to find black owned businesses in your local community and on a national level that you can do business with. So, and I know we're staying on this question a little longer than you wanted to, but it just kind of,
Look, look,
hit a
sometimes the
nerve.
conversation goes that way, man. It just goes that way, and I'm okay with it. Um, so pulling it back down into this conversation phase.
Mhm.
We may have to have a part two on this one, but pulling it back down into this conversational base. Um, Basically, we need to be aware that with our spending power and with our ability to take that power of our dollar, we can support our own businesses. We can support our own
Mhm.
people if we funnel that money appropriately into the businesses that we can afford and that we can patronize.
That's correct.
Got you. Got you. Let me ask you this, because I was looking at this the other day as I was thinking about this interview. There are different tools that you can pull up. Moving into 2021, one thing that I looked at was that it'll tell you where you spend a lot of your money, whether it be at restaurants or retail places or wherever it is. It'll kind of tell you, yo, you've been spending an abnormally high amount of money on food. I'm like, yeah, I do. I love food. It's how I reward myself. Do we need to stop for a moment and really do like a financial analysis walking into 2021? Because I find a lot of times we have a hard time figuring out where our money's going.
No, absolutely. That is the at a basis what everybody should be doing. That's what we do for every client at National Financial Group. We put together a comprehensive financial plan, and we've even had clients that were resistant to it because they say, "Hey, Ruben, we just graduated from college. We're just starting out in life. I don't have any money. I don't need a financial plan."
Right.
And I say, hey, look, that is the perfect time to do a financial plan because as you start to grow in your career and make more money, now you have a plan as to how all of that money will be distributed and help you build a strong, solid foundation upon which you can build a solid future for yourself, your family, and future generations in your family. And it's just like anything else in life. If you don't plan, you have very little chance of being successful. So that's no difference with your financial plan. And, Derek, the thing that's most alarming to me is less than 10% of all Americans, not just black folks, but less than 10% of all Americans actually have a comprehensive financial plan. And it's also the curse of America is what I call it because, our economy is built on consumerism. So the
Right.
powers that be don't want anyone to really have a financial plan because they want you to be controlled by what you see on media, social media, and traditional media, and which will cause you to go out and spend money, which allows the wealthiest 1% in this country to make all the money while you stay stuck in the rat race, working on a job or even running a business, but you run that business or work on a job to go and then buy stuff and spend
Right.
the majority of your money versus having a financial plan that would tell you, hey, I need to be taking a certain percentage of my income every month and putting it away into this
Right.
plan and different vehicles that this plan tells me to put it in. So that way I can build a solid financial future for myself and for future generations in my family.
That is such a
That
profound
is so.
statement, though, because it transitions you from being a consumer to a producer. And that is a huge transition. Let me ask a question on those lines. How should I look at myself as a financial entity moving into 2021? Because what began having conversations with people who are making moves, and it seems like they're not looking at themselves like everybody else is. They're looking at themselves as more of a financial creator, a financial being. I had a conversation with a friend of mine. I said, I'm thinking about getting a second job. He said, Derek, I believe you're smart enough to create something, to create income. You don't need a second job. How should I look at myself as a financial entity moving into 2021?
Well, you have to look at yourself, and with all of our financial plans that we do for clients, we tell our clients you need to be able to operate your personal financial household just as if you would operate a Fortune 500 company, meaning that you need to figure out how can you create value for your shareholders or your investors. And if it's you, then the value you're creating is for your family. They're the shareholders or the stakeholders in your company. So that's how you should look at it. Does going out buying the latest and greatest car or clothes or the new iPhone 12, does that really bring value to your stakeholders? No, it may be fun or exciting, but that's not bringing value. Now, setting aside, you know, 2 to 5% of your income on a monthly basis, that's going to bring value because now you can start to save, you can start to invest, and then you can actually start creating financial opportunities within your family, in your inner circle, and in your community, which will then bring long-term sustainable growth and value to your stakeholders and your investors, which is your immediate family.
Got you. My executive producer said I am a brand. That's good. Yeah, I believe that. But walking with that line of thought, what does it mean, and how much does it really take for me to become an asset creator? Does it take a lot of money? Does it what does that mean for me to create assets for my family, for my loved ones?
It doesn't take a lot of money at all. Whatever your income level is, I tell everyone you need to be. You can, become a opportunity creator by just being willing to set aside 5 to 10% of your annual income. And if you can do that, then yes, you can accomplish, becoming an opportunity creator, or as you put it, an asset creator.
Mm, an opportunity creator. Help me. What does that mean necessarily when we put the feet on the ground? What's an opportunity creator?
Well, I tell people all the time. So, opportunity creators are people that can bring value to their stakeholders, and if you're talking about the family unit, your family members. But then you can also, as you build your resources, once you commit to saving that 5 to 10% every year, then you can also create opportunities for close friends, close family, by saying, "Hey, you know what? I'll help you fund this business opportunity. I'll help you, with this other." Financial goal that you have. And that's what other people in other communities do all the time. They help folks in their inner circle, starting with their family, but they also help folks in their inner circle, start businesses, create other opportunities in their community to bring more economic prosperity to them personally in their community. So that's what I mean.
Gotcha, gotcha. Thank you for that. I asked a couple of friends what kind of thought process they had, and in kind of going into 2021, the things they think about. One of the things that I came across a couple of times is this idea that debt is always bad, investing is always good. Is that true?
No, that's at its basic premise, yes, it's correct. But if you look at it in detail and holistically, it's not true because some of the greatest businesses in this country that this country has ever seen was started with debt. So not all debt is bad debt. I had to, take out a massive loan to start my
Mhm.
company, National Financial Group. However, it's yielded tremendous, as I put it, opportunities for myself, my family, my stakeholders, uh, my employees, and that was good debt because now I've been able to pay that debt off and move into complete and total prosperity. And I'm sorry, profitability.
Say that again. Profitability.
Yes, yes,
Is
profitability.
there is there a difference between prosperity and profitability that I don't know about? Because I'm curious.
No, you're right. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. It's the same
I'm
thing.
like, look,
Yep.
look, tell me something because I
Just a
don't
different
know.
way of saying
I
it.
don't know.
Hmm. No,
Okay,
you caught me.
cool,
That's
got
right.
it. Look,
Yeah.
you may have known something I don't. I find if I don't ask questions, I just don't know, and I'm left wondering. So you shoot, anything might be good. Change my mind on something. So with that being said, not all debt is bad debt. Uh, and investing can be risky. You can lose your shirt investing. Um, so let me ask this. We've had previous guests talk about the power of investing, juxtaposed to just having a savings account, right? And and talking about that. And I've had a couple of people say, "Yo, I just wanna knock out this debt real quick, and then I'll start investing." Should we pay more attention to investing than knocking out our debt? Is that really necessary to create assets, or like you said, create opportunities for ourselves?
Well, what I'll say to that is you need to give them both equal attention because you'll have a lot of talking heads on TV and on different media outlets that say, you know what, if you're in debt, you shouldn't do any investing at all. I totally disagree with
Mhm.
that because if you just focus on eliminating debt and you don't do any investing, the opportunity cost with that is very severe, meaning that the months, the the years that you delay investing can really cost you tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars over the course of a lifetime by you starting to invest too late or at a much later state in your life. So you should give them both equal attention, and that's what we do with our clients. We show them how you can manage your debt, pay it off
Right.
systematically over time, but also systematically invest at the same time while you're doing that. Because think about this, there is no business that is a for-profit business that says, you know what, we're not going to focus on making money for ourselves until we pay off our debt.
Hmm.
That's not how they
Hmm.
operate. It's, hey, let us manage our debt, keep it at a sustainable, manageable level. And even if we have the goal to eliminate it over time, then we need to actually still make sure we're bringing home a profit for our company. So that profit for us as individuals means we need to put it in investments that generate a return for us.
And so it just dawns on me that you're still thinking of yourself moving it. And I'm talking to my viewers now. You're moving into 2021, thinking about yourself as a almost a business entity, like a brand, as my executive producer said, and what's going to be most profitable for me and my family, not necessarily what's the thing that I want immediately right now. And that's a whole different mindset. Let me ask you this because you brought up the idea of how businesses leverage money. A lot of times in the conscious community and in other communities that are talking, there's this idea that everybody has to be a business owner, right? Everybody has to be an entrepreneur. And I can tell you just from people I know, not everybody is built to be an entrepreneur. Look, I
That's
love
why
them. I
you
love them.
that's why you made me chuckle. That's why you made me
Huh?
chuckle. I said that's why you made me chuckle when you mentioned that because I have people coming to me all the time and say, Ruben, I want you to help me create a financial plan because I'm tired of working for people. I want to start my own business. And I tell people all the time, I say there is nothing wrong with saying that you're going to work with somebody, do a great job, and build a great career for yourself. Because I encourage everybody to pursue their dreams. If you think
Mhm.
that's what you really want to do, definitely go after it. But I also encourage everybody to look in the mirror and do a realistic analysis of who you are as a person.
Mhm.
Because I will say
Right.
this, there are very few people in the world that are actually cut out to start and successfully run a business. And that is a major problem with people. And I'm just going to focus on folks in our community for now. But that's a major problem that I see with folks in our community because I work with a lot of African American
Right.
clients here in Atlanta and around the country. They say, "Hey, I want to start a business," and then I have very frank conversations with them and say, "Well, hey, are you willing to work 80 to 100 hours a week
Right.
to make
Right.
to make it happen?" It's an improvement. That's not what it takes to run a business. I saw this presentation and I could have passive income. I can make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, and I don't have to work hard. That's the whole point in running a business is because I don't have to work hard. Do you understand how ridiculous that kind of thought process is? Do you think that any multi-billion-dollar corporation. Do you think those founders had that mentality? I'm not going to
Right.
do whatever it takes, with my sweat equity and my resources to make sure my business grows and thrives and prospers. And
Right.
that's what I always tell people. Start with that. If you don't have that, insatiable appetite for success and relentlessness to pursue your goals and dreams and that drive and work ethic to go after it, don't start a business because it's not for you. You will not be successful. Secondarily, um, do you have the mentality to understand that you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know? Because that's also a problem that I see with a lot of people. With the age of social media, people will take, little snippets that they get on Facebook and other news outlets and other social media outlets, and they'll put stuff out there to make themselves appear to be, more experts than what they are. But there's really no substance behind what they're saying and what they're trying to implement for people around them and even for themselves. So do you have the mentality to say, I know what I know and I don't know what I don't know, and I'm willing to put other professionals around me to make sure that I'm successful in my endeavors? So if you're going to start a business, at a minimum, you need to have both a personal financial plan, obviously a business plan. You need to have a great relationship with a financial planner. You need to have a great relationship with a CPA. You need to have a great relationship with a bookkeeper. You also need to have a great relationship with a banker, someone that can help you navigate getting access to capital for your business to both grow it and sustain it. And guess what? That's going to require you to have a certain level of comfort with some type of debt in order to grow and build a successful business. So those are a couple of the basic things that I would look at. But going back to what you originally said, as you can see, this is another hot button for me. If you don't have the mentality that you're going to do whatever it takes, to be a success, starting a business is not for you. Because I get sick and tired of seeing people come to me with these little gimmicky things. Well, I got this little multi-level marketing thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to be a millionaire. Folks, if it was that easy, do you think not everybody else would be doing it or wouldn't have already done it? It's not that easy to make a ton of money. It's
It's
just not.
it's not.
I'm not
It's
going to
not.
pursue it, but it's just not that easy.
Right. But it's a beautiful thought, and I was told this, and this is one thing that I think is very relevant for me. And you just killed that, so thank you very much for that. That was good. Um, One thing I've heard the difference of is that one thing is a difference between being an entrepreneur and being an owner. You can own things and not be an entrepreneur. You can own
That's correct.
real estate, you can own stock, you can own bonds, you can own all these things and not be an entrepreneur. Is that a pertinent and a uh what's the best way to put it? Is that a not just a relevant but a real mindset to have moving into 2021? I don't have to be an entrepreneur to be an owner and for wealth to come from me and from my family. Is that a real thing? Can we do that just as someone who's not an entrepreneur but is an owner?
No, you're absolutely right. So, because when I go through this analysis with my clients, and we get to the end of it, and I say, you know what, Mr. and Mrs. Client, based on what we've discussed over the past hour, you're not, an entrepreneur. However, you can still create additional wealth for you and your family by being an owner. Let's look at real estate investments, owning properties that can produce rental income, owning properties that can appreciate over time and yield value to your family and nature, because that doesn't require you to be a entrepreneur. You can own those real estate assets. It doesn't require you to deal with a lot of people and work crazy hours and things of that nature. You can be a great employee for someone, use that income that you make on your job, and then take it and invest in real estate and create passive income for
Right.
yourself and your family.
Right.
Now, a lot of financial planners will not recommend that to
Mm.
to their clients, because a lot of financial planners, well, I'm sorry, not financial planners, a lot of financial advisors, they're looking to see what they can get for themselves in the form of commission and things of that nature.
Okay. Okay.
Um, So you want to make sure, that leads me to another point. You want to make sure that you're working with a financial planner that's an actual fiduciary, which means that they are legally obligated to do what's in your best interest at all times and
Uh,
give you advice
what is that
that is
called again?
client, a fiduciary.
A fiduciary.
Yes.
Never heard that term. Break that down for me real quick. We got to wrap up soon, but
So
if you can.
no, no problem. A fiduciary is someone that is legally bound by the SEC to do what's in the best interest of your clients at all times. So they're either going to have a designation, like a certified financial planner,
Okay.
CHFC, or PhD in financial planning. I have several people at my firm with these credentials, or they will have a Series 65 securities license, right? If they don't have one of those things, they are not a fiduciary. They are and a lot of people in my industry get mad for me telling the truth about this, but they are a commission seeking financial advisor or sales rep. And
Hmm.
oftentimes,
Interesting.
financial advisors and sales reps, they oftentimes don't have your best interests in mind because they want to sell you products so that they can generate a commission. And sometimes those products don't always align with your interests. So, i.e., this is why, getting back to my point, this is why a lot of advisors don't recommend real estate investments to their clients because they don't get paid commission for those real estate investments. Whereas
Oh,
at our firm, we charge a flat fee, a financial planning fee, and we give our clients unbiased advice about their complete financial picture. And that's who you want to work with, somebody that can truly be a trusted advisor for you and your family, not someone that's seeking to generate commissions. And what I don't want to do is, disparage other people in my industry, but I'm just trying to illustrate or illuminate the difference between a financial advisor and a fiduciary. Because if it's me and my dollars, there's no way I'm going to trust my life's work that I
right.
use to provide for me and my family to someone that is not going to be held to the highest standard of accountability for the advice they give me about my life's work, which is the money that you work hard to earn.
Right. Yo, that was awesome. Thank you for that. I had never heard the term fiduciary before. So that was the first time. So thank you for that. I appreciate it so much. Again, where can we find you if people see you on the channel and they're like, oh, he's great, let me go stalk him. Where can they come find you at?
So my website is up. It's nfg0.com. And then they can
Okay.
also send me an email at Ruben. So it's REUBEN at nfg0.com. And then my office number is 404-865-3105. And then we have an office here in Atlanta, one in downtown Miami, and then one in Scottsdale, Arizona as well, just in case you have viewers in those markets.
Hey, hey, hope yes, that's trust me, I'm gotta find you myself. All right, so look, Mr. Lewis, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time. I know it's valuable and I know it's precious. Thank you so much for being here. Any parting remarks you want to leave us with before we go?
No, well, nothing other than just make sure that you're willing to work with a professional to help guide you, through a financial plan because that is the real key to being successful financially. Start with that financial plan that is produced by a fiduciary.
Gotcha. Sir, again, thank you for your time. Ladies and gentlemen, Ruben Lewis the fourth, it has been a pleasure to see him here and to have all this knowledge he just poured out. So again, I'm grateful. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this evening on your show, Financial Freedom. I have been your host and accompaniment on this journey. We both learned on this way, man. It's incredible. Thank you for joining again. Be safe out there, family.